gifted garage. Dog. Haven't been up to much because it's been 11 degrees out for the past 47 years. Now it's finally starting to thaw out. And if you remember, I mentioned the man I got this truck from has a whole second cab for me. So I've been collecting the rest of the parts to build another truck. A couple fleet side bedsides and the hood and stuff. Because I just got this. It's a 2003 Silverado SS. Or what's left of it. So it's an LQ9 6-liter all-wheel drive to put a C10 on. I was looking for an Escalade, which would have done two things for me. The wheelbase is only 1 inch off, so no one would have noticed that. And it also is like a 4-link rear end instead of leaf springs. But this was available and cheap. A friend of mine had it, so I just gotta get it unloaded somehow. Didn't fit on the trailer. If you tell U-Haul you're towing this combo, they say no. So you just tell them you're towing like a Honda Civic or a Mazda Miata or a Fiat, I don't know, something small. They say, yep, okay. You just gotta leave the ramps pulled out a little bit. Now I can actually see it standing up because it was on its back this whole time.
Yes, she was.
Okay, that door doesn't work. Dun, dun, oh, you didn't give me the key? Ain't got no key. Right. Oh, this one's got a radio.
8-track, bro.
And an actual dashboard.
She's got an 8-track.
Yeah, oil pressures. And it's more complete than the other one was.
Yeah.
Yep.
It has floors.
Mm-hmm. Nothing.
The next day,
Just hook up my tractor real quick. now that this thing is out from its grave, I gotta try and fit this on there. And I know it's not gonna fit because of the tunnel and all that. But we gotta try. Never said I knew what I was doing or I was good at it. I just noticed when I yanked this thing out, it tore that right off. So that's fine. But we're fitting better than I thought to begin with. But I at least need to get the cab set roughly where the front fender is going to fit that wheel, so that I can fit it bedside and figure out how much I need to shorten this. I'm guessing almost all of that straight section of frame is coming out. I mean, I have one right here, so I guess I can measure off the door center. 26 and a half ish. $27 and a half ish. 28, which, you know, if that wheel is a little further in an opening, if I get stock fenders on this cab and the wheel's a little further forward, I'm fine. But ideally, if that drops down and comes forward an inch, and I can figure that out. So I got some blocks under here just to hold this level, because the trans is hitting the tunnel. But once this is installed, I want it down that 3.5 inches, because I want it at least as low as that truck on 20s, because I got to clear the brakes on some low pro tires. Now I gotta come back here to my stash of parts. It's in here somewhere. Yep. Yep, that's the driver's side. And this is the driver's side. Why doesn't everyone drive cool stuff? Building hot rods is so easy. Stay. You only gotta shorten it up a little bit. And so I'm gonna need to take roughly 30 inches out of this frame. Another day looking at this thing. And I wanted to get that block out and get the cab as low as possible to get this thing sitting low. But if I need to shorten it that much, then the gas tank is going to be under the cab. And I'm going to end up needing to notch the floor out for the gas tank if I want to use this gas tank. I'd like to use as much of the chassis components as possible, because I'm cheap. So I'm just taking some real quick measurements under here on this front mount to this hole, because once I take the cab back off to do a bunch of frame stuff, I want to know what I'm doing. And basically all I'm going to do is cut this off, move it back 5 inches, and make sure the center of it is 4 inches off the side of the frame. So I'm gonna have to trim it down before I weld it back on both sides. And I'll get that front hole. And then on the back, I might just bolt it down through a 4x4, because that seems perfect. You gotta get creative when you work alone. So, cut, short, done. Simple. And I think I can just get 28.5 inches before the torsion bar cross member and where that frame starts curving up. So a nice straight section right here. And lucky for me, all these fuel lines are already junk right here, so I'm not worried about that. Simple. Get rid of this whole thing. Don't need that. So for the sake of keeping things a little bit stronger, I'm going to leave a Z here, cut that out here. So that's my 28.5 inches, just missing my torsion bar cross member. Lose all my fluid. Nope. There's no turning back now. It's just a big mess of fuel and brake fluid. There it is. Other side. I think that's it. What do we got here? Yeah. Don't need that lower going. This is easy, right? I mean, I'm just some idiot with some carpentry tools and barely a tape measure. Don't roll away. Close. Close-ish. That's it. It's close enough for right now. I gotta jack up in the center because this drops when I cut it. Jack up till that tightens up. It should be pretty close. Now the sun's going down, so I'm not gonna break out the welder just now. And yeah, I'm gonna stick it together with my 120 volt Harbor Freight sparkler because I'm just a normal guy at home. It's what I do. So that was like a cab off, quick measurement, frame chop in like 2.5 hours. It's another day and I got my crappy welder out. And I got all kinds of straps and stuff trying to hold this together. So basically trying to square everything up. To that hole, 74 3/4 to the center. To the last hole, 148.5. And then you go triangular to this hole, 153.25. Then I go to this side. Where did I go? This one? I don't remember what I said. It's 74 3/4. It's 148.5. It's 153. So it's like a 1/4 inch off somewhere, which realistically only has to move 1/8 to correct it back to the center of that 1/4 inch difference. I might be fine with that, but I know I'm also not on level ground. So if I throw this on back here, I'm not level, but put it on a shim, I'm level. So that's a 1/4 inch. Close enough. I mean, I can go 3/16. Perfect. So if I keep the shims on this side and it's even the whole way up, in theory it's okay. Frame rail to frame rail is where it's supposed to be. Because I only got one jack and so many jack stands, and I could shim up the jack stands and actually hold it level, but the whole thing is just, I'm working with garbage. I really doesn't have to get this crazy. I mean, for a flux core deal on 110, maybe add a plate. I don't know. I'm just a normal guy with normal stuff. I mean, if you look at the back that I didn't clean, it penetrated decent, so still gotta do the tops and the bottoms and the inside somehow. So now I gotta trim these down to 4 inches from the center of the hole and weld them on 5 inches back from where they were. So now I gotta see if the cab still fits. I think those mounts gotta come off. And I gotta trim this from here to here up to the floor line to clear the gas tank. Gotta do a lot of wiggling. So yeah, I definitely need to cut these mounts and notch for the gas tank to get this lower in the back. Yeah, you know, parallel with the frame and maybe lower, closer to being flush with the frame. I got 2 inches between those mounts now.
The next day.
So I think that distance is okay. So then we're good. I need to get the cab lower. And I gotta cut these mounts and cut for the gas tank to get lower. And so right here where it's still flat, that hole is almost right on top of the frame rail, but I want some flat support. So I'm thinking about just cutting this and leaving about an inch and a half here, which should give me some support right there and get me down almost 4 inches. Or do I leave these mounts and cut and box there so I have somewhere to mount up? Let's take a look at this thing. So I need to cut out here to here for the gas tank, which comes right to about where that is. And there was maybe 3/4 of an inch to that where I was sitting. So I'll gain, we'll say like 2.5 inches. This can come down from where it was. So here to the floor, if I decide to notch this, essentially be just notching out this bracket to a flat spot. The edge of this, I'll start coming over straight, squared. I don't have any metal. Oh, I got frame. I'm gonna start by cutting this out for the gas tank first, because I know that's got to go. That's nice. So, something like that for now. I think I'm just gonna slit and try and fold this in so I'm not actually cutting that too much. About an extra 1.5 inches where the gas tank goes. So if I get so brave as to sit that right on the gas tank, get this kind of close to level. From that section of the floor to this mount, I have 3.5 inches. Which means from this surface down 3.5 is where that mount is. So this is 3.5 inches. Go straight across. And it's roughly right where that is. Just like I thought. And so I know the frame is 2.5 by, I don't know, however big. So I'm only going to be able to go up 2.5. So wherever that fits, so I'm only going to be able to use that much of a piece of that frame. Cut a square out right there. This is all what I call precision guesswork with a calibrated eyeball. This is full of dirt. And I'm just gonna box that. Quick test fit. Wrestling this thing around by myself is great. So now I'm on the gas tank. It's not square, but that is gonna sit right on there. It's got to go that way, but with like a hockey puck in there or something. Same right here. I'm pretty level with the frame. You gotta wiggle it around some, but I think that's as low as it's gonna go. It's gonna have to come up a hair right here. So I think if I get a hockey puck in there, once I weld in a plate. So I actually found part of a body mount kit for something, but these holes don't actually do anything. They're not actually the body mounts. So I tack some nuts to these washers and I'm gonna hog that out and stick that up in there. Like so. So then when I put this cap back to where I want it, I'm gonna weld a big washer on there to fix that. And it kind of might all work. On with the cab, off with the cab, on with the cab, off with the cab. Oh, flip the cab. Repeat. Cut these pieces out of the frame. And I'm just gonna use those right here so that I have a flat surface. But before I weld them on, I want to measure the distance between the mounts and center it up. Drill a hole and weld a nut on the back side of this, so I have something to attach to. That hurt, but I got some nuts on the back of that. Throw these in here the best I can, and yeah, that's about it. Those are just tacked on. They ain't pretty. And I think I got these tacked on where they need to be. So I gotta move it all back on. So a whole lot of wiggling, shimmying, smashing, swearing, and stuff. I need shorter bolts, so I got some spacers in there. But body mount, I gotta maybe find better ones. Let me go to the local ice rink and get some hockey pucks. But it's mounted. I think that's where it lives. Because I gotta remember too, this is, I mean, it's got a reverse level, like a longer shackle in the back, but otherwise that's stock suspension. So I can always do a drop kit for the Silverado chassis and get it lower, like low. Throw the hood and the bedside back on and see how we look. So that's ride height-ish right now. So if I keep 20s and get like a 255/30, I mean, these are almost 33-inch tires. So smaller tires, and then maybe a 3.5 drop for the chassis. I think it'll be all right. I mean, I could get it a lot lower if I wanted to cut apart this whole floor. As of right now, the only cutting I did was on that back lip to clear the gas tank. So that's it for this episode of Gifted Garage, where Gif did a bunch of stuff in just a few afternoons. We shortened the Silverado SS chassis and we mounted a 65 C10 to it. I gotta collect a whole bunch more parts, front clip for the truck. I gotta make sure the motor runs. I gotta do a lot more stuff. Thanks for watching. Click the the like button, leave a comment. I don't know. See ya.